Tim Armstrong, CEO of AOL. Thanks for joining us today.
Nice to see you, Seema.
Let's talk about you being here at TechCrunch Disrupt. You're here to talk about innovation, about high-tech technology, but when you think about cutting-edge technology, AOL isn't top of mind. Do you think that's changing?
Oh, I think that's definitely changing. I think AOL is a company that's been growing for 6 quarters in a row, and we own the property TechCrunch here, and one of the things that's amazing is 1,800 people here that are all startups building the world's best technology. And AOL's been a company since 2009. Through programs like TechCrunch Disrupt, we have, there's been 407 companies that have participated in Battlefield, and a whole ton of them have gone on to be either exited or gone public, and we've created about $4.5 billion of market cap value just from this one event alone.
Let's also talk about Europe, because Europe is dealing with weak growth as well as low inflation. How does that impact you as a CEO of AOL and your operations here in Europe?
Europe's got a big role to play. In the last 4 years in Europe, specifically in the UK, there's been 500,000 companies registered startups. So while the overall economy in Europe may be up and down, and I think it is up and down right now, the tech sector is very strong, and this event's a great example of that.
Obviously you divested from the subscriber business here a couple years ago, but it still has the brand equity, if you will. HuffPo has expanded into Europe. Talk to me about where you see growth. You were mentioning tech, but in terms of where your business is.
The products we're bringing to Europe are global platform products that will be customized for local countries, but I think we look at countries like Germany, UK, France, some of the Nordic countries, we have been putting more and more products into those countries, and we're going to continue to do that.
And let's talk about acquisitions. AOL bought German company AdTech several years ago. They also bought a European video startup, Go Viral, in 2011. So I want to bring some comments made by Peter Thiel from Clarion Capital a few weeks ago, calling Europeans slackers with low expectations. What's your experience been with dealing with entrepreneurs and executives here in Europe?
I think entrepreneurship and really how entrepreneurs deal with the global economy is universal. It doesn't matter what country you're in. And the fact that there's 1,800 people here right now and there's hundreds of startups, I think would answer the question of whether or not Europe is going to be good in the startup land. And I would say that on a global basis, I think Silicon Valley's been the center of startup land. Although when you start to look across the globe, Tel Aviv, Dublin, London, Bangalore, Shanghai, you're going to see mini Silicon Valleys getting built up all over the place. So I'll talk to Peter next time I see him, but I'll take him to this event next time he's here. He would be amazed, I think.
Well, one thing that could impact the success of startups is regulation. We've seen the right to be forgotten law passed by the EU. Your former employer, Google, was a vocal opponent to it, and it's beginning to look like there's more to come, particularly in markets like Germany. I have to ask, how much of this really affects a company's ability to do business here in Europe? And the bottom line, is it more an operational tweak, or does it have a significant impact on revenues?
Yeah, I think when you think about where the EU's going from privacy and taxes and things like that, I think as a company like ours, you want to have global platforms that work the same way in all countries, and then you want to be able to localize them. The data restrictions are something that I think you have to respect the local country laws and the EU laws around them, but I think it will have an effect on business in those countries. But overall, the opportunity is still bigger than the legal issues around privacy and taxes. It's much better to do business in other countries and figure out how to work with them, so that's what we're focused on.
Well, AOL is still growing their ad business as well as their subscriber business goes away. You've signed partnerships with the likes of Yahoo as well as Microsoft for ad sales, so you're spending a lot of time in advertising and kind of strengthening that business, but at the same time we saw Google report disappointing results last week. What can you say about that space? Advertising, a highly competitive market. What is AOL doing to stay ahead?
Yeah, there's 2 things we're doing in advertising. One is investing very deeply in technology and the technology around the mechanization of advertising. So machines are coming to the advertising business like machines came to Wall Street overall, and you're seeing things get traded, not just with human people trading advertising, but with machines. And the second piece is we're doing a very good job on video and custom content. We are growing very quickly from programs that are very deep, rich, and engaging for consumers. And there's a significant gap. 35–37% of media is done online now, and only about 25% is spent online. So you have a 12–15% gap in terms of the companies needing to catch up. So it's a growth market. And I think you're going to see companies report stronger and stronger digital results over the next 5 years.
Finally, I know you just got off the plane to here at TechCrunch Disrupt in London. Any startups here that you're keen to look at today?
Yeah, there's a couple. I was, this weekend, we have a number of things that are live video cast from this event, and I saw some startups that did the hackathon this weekend that I was interested in, and there's 2 or 3 companies down on the battlefield floor that I already walked by once on the way through, and I'll spend some time talking to. There's some fantastic companies here.
Okay, Tim Armstrong, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Seema.